Hey, think you can't grow mushrooms in the summer, or maybe you're trying to grow mushrooms and things are looking a little bit off. You know, things get much more difficult with the heat of the summer. It's 90 degrees here in New Jersey, soon to be 100. But don't worry, we have a solution for you. We have a species I don't think you've heard of before. It's the pocket oyster. It only grows in the heat, but it thrives in the heat. So let's get into it. You know, most mushrooms we grow like to be between 65 and let's say 72 degrees. And then once it warms up, those mushrooms are going to start to look a little bit off. And the hotter and hotter we get outside, the more difficult it is to keep the temperature cool in your fruiting room. And what happens is something like a blue oyster is going to start to look a little bit leggy. It'll get paler in color. The cap will be a little bit thinner. You know, your lion's mane might grow a little bit lumpy. Your chestnuts might not fruit at all. And black pearls just look like mutants by the beginning of the summer. They really like that temperature cool. You know, there are some mushrooms that not only tolerate the heat, but they love it. And some of these mushrooms I'm sure you already have heard of before. Something like a yellow oyster grows great in the summer. The pink oyster, you know, the hotter it gets, the better the pink oysters look. And another one is the pioppino, which for us grows really well in the summer. And it kind of does the opposite of what the blue oyster does. In the winter, the blue oyster looks really nice, dark in color, and the pioppino is very pale. But in the summer, the pioppinos look really healthy in nice dark color, and the blue oysters look a little bit light. So we really like growing pioppinos in the summertime. But there's a mushroom you haven't heard of, and that is the pocket oyster or the petite oyster. Same genus as the blue oyster. The blue oyster is Pleurotus austratus, and the petite oyster is Pleurotus geesteranus. And what we found is just much more heat tolerant, which is so important in the summer. So again, you know, we run two strains of blue oyster. We do a cold weather blue and kind of an all around weather blue. The cold weather blue is great. You know, November, December, January, February, March, and then the all-around blue oyster is, we grow it throughout the year. But once you reach July and August, it starts to go off a little bit, and that's when we start to really grow the petite oyster. So what we found is that the petite oyster is much more heat tolerant than the blue oyster. If the blue oyster kind of shuts down like around 72 degrees, the petite oyster will go all the way up to at least 85 degrees and still give you consistent flushes and look good. The petite oyster is a little bit more brown than the blue oyster, but it tastes, in our opinion, a little bit better. We kind of say it's like a blue oyster, but only more so. It's going to give you more flavor. The first flush, interestingly enough, is a little bit lighter than the blue oyster, so that yield is down a little bit. But the great thing is that the petite keeps on producing and producing very quickly. All those flushes are very fast. It doesn't seem like you have to wait the typical 2 weeks between flushes, which is great. So it's a good producer, especially in the heat when the blue oysters turn off, and you're going to get better flavor as well. So the substrate you grow the petite oyster is, of course, the same substrate you would grow your blue oyster on, and the care level is exactly the same too. So you want to keep that humidity high. Just remember, it can tolerate a little bit warmer temperature. So if you need it to go up to 80, 85 degrees, that petite oyster will continue to perform where we think the blue oyster kind of falls off. So if you wanted to give this mushroom a shot, head on over to noblemushrooms.com, our website. You can buy a 2-pound bag of spawn, 5-pound bag of spawn, or even if you wanted to try the liquid culture, we have those in stock as well. And use discount code SUMMER10 for a 10% discount. Link in the description below.